Welcome back to the Sanity Project. Bit of an update. I managed to get the car running. I'll pop in a little clip here. However, whilst the fuel pump was sorted, we now had an alternator issue where I simply wasn't getting any charge from the alternator. I had checked with a multimeter. The earth appeared good on the alternator. Everything appeared right, but the warning light on the dash stayed on even with the key out of the ignition. Now the wiring on these old things, I'm not a wiring guru by any stretch of the imagination, and I fiddled around expecting to have to change the alternator. I didn't want to let it beat me, so I made up a short earth strap, and lo and behold, that was the problem. Now I'm getting over 14 volts charge when it's cold, so that seems to have fixed the problem. The alternator is fine. The car appears to be running pretty reasonably. So upon leaving the driveway and taking it for a bit of a test run, I noticed that the transmission wasn't shifting up gears. So I checked the transmission fluid level. This didn't solve the problem. The level was fine, if anything, just marginally over full, which, given that the converter and everything else had been emptied, that was going to get absorbed in the system anyway. And I thought to myself, what have I done wrong? And there's always plenty of things that I've done wrong in this scenario. So I went looking because I didn't think that I had any parts left, but fallen behind my stash of parts was one single hard line. Well, lo and behold, the vacuum modulator on the back of the transmission had not been hooked up, so hence it wasn't upshifting, downshifting, doing any of that. So I've now sorted that out. For some reason, that hard line was bent in 100 different directions and didn't line up to where it needed to go. So I've straightened that back out and then bent that around a socket in a vise so that you get a nice radius on those bends so as to not kink the pipe. I've now run that from the back of the transmission along the tunnel, up the firewall, across the back of the engine and to the inlet manifold as is required. I'm expecting that to have solved the problem. I haven't gone out and test run the car yet. That'll happen shortly. But this is just a bit of an update to highlight some of the things that are just a little bit different. I'm not used to dealing with autos. I've always fiddled around with manual transmissions more so. So some of this stuff's a little bit off for me. One thing I did find about the old Commodores is the speedos are very, very touchy. If you move that cable with one end detached, it's going to unplug it out of the cluster. So I've just been under the dash now this morning and that was unplugged. Again, I'm hoping that that's going to fix the problem when I take it on a test drive shortly. All the fluids are correct, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so this is just a bit of an update. I'm going to take it for a bit of a drive. Hopefully it sorts it out. I want to spend some time driving it this weekend. There's a couple of events on locally. So let's see how we go. Hopefully the vehicle behaves itself. The cooling system appears to be good. It's very, very clean. I'm really happy with that. So from here on, it's a little bit of driving, enjoying the vehicle. And then when I see fit, I'm then going to attack the rest of it. So that'll start with doors off, getting all the insides of the door jambs painted, all that sort of stuff, and doing some little repairs, dent repairs. There's a couple of little small spot rust spots that I'm then going to cut, weld patches into those. So that's going to be a learning curve. It's not something that I've done a lot of. So I'm going to have to be a little bit fussy, a little bit of practicing on thin sheet metal because I'm no welder. I also have a bit of a headlight update. It seems I chose a good eBay seller. They came quickly. I've now installed those white LEDs So they're going to be a lot more reliable. It was very, very simple. So I'd suggest doing it. Get rid of that 5-watt halogen bulb. It's just not reliable. It also has made it a lot easier to get that bezel in and out. So I'm going to go for a drive. Have a great day, guys.